I thought the Olympics was so spectacular, so special. And Gonzaga's basketball coach, Mark Few, who just got in late last night. Zags never missed the tournament as long as Mark's been the coach. I got to tell you, you have seen a lot of basketball. But what Steph Curry did at the end of that game, I'm sitting there, and you've had some great offensive players. I don't know if you could wipe the smile off your face. Take me to what you were watching and how you felt in one of the greatest one of the greatest shooting displays in the history of the sport. May have been the greatest shooting display. What were you making of it?
It was absolutely amazing to witness firsthand. And just, again, I would be remiss to not add, there's a reason it happened. I've never been more impressed with somebody's approach to their own individual workout. And he did it diligently every single day at the end of every practice. I think last time I was on, we talked about it. Game shots at game spots at game speed, what we talk about as coaches all the time. And then just even if you listen to some of his quotes afterward, talking about just being in the moment and being present and just taking the shot. And I told the staff afterwards, he's got a little bit of the Ted Lasso, the memory of a goldfish or whatever it is. The next shot's just going in.
Yeah.
And it was spectacular. I can't imagine anybody having a better shooting performance over those last two games.
Yeah.
And we needed every single one of them.
Yeah.
Because we were really, really challenged by two really, really good teams, but not only two really good teams, but two teams that just played, exceptional on that particular day. They put it all together to try to knock off the number one squad, and our guys didn't buckle.
It's interesting. Embiid started slowly, a lot of criticism. Then he's finished very strong. During the turbulence, when everybody, including me, is like, get him off the floor. Give me AD, bam, it's not working. During that process, you guys figured it out. He got sometimes closer to the basket where he's virtually unstoppable. During that time when he was taking heat, Steve at one time pulled him off the floor 2 minutes into the game. What did you do to alter it, to pivot, to change his environment, his game, and his production?
Well, I think Joel deserves all the credit for that. I think, he was really just trying to fit in with this group, in my opinion, and in some instances was almost overpassing, and then also I think for all our players, just the adjustment to FIBA basketball, which is so much more like the college game than it is like the NBA, and then secondly the adjustment to just, we had 12 great players, and trying to get them all in and get them in the rotation, and that's limited minutes, and a lot of them are used to kind of like, hey, I'll take my time to get going here and get some rhythm. I might miss my first shots, or might, this or that might happen. You didn't really have time for that in this scenario. And so, and then the last thing I'd add, I think the French fans' approach to Joel certainly helped also, especially when we got to Paris.
Yeah.
That really amped him up, and I think if he needed any extra motivation, that was it.
One of the reasons, a guy that was interesting in this was Devin Booker, who just gets shots. He makes shots. And sometimes in these international games, you just need shots. Durant, to me, is so valuable in the Olympics because you face a team like South Sudan that's twitchy and athletic, and they're nothing like Serbia. So, and all the teams are good. So, and then there's Tatum, who kind of felt lost, and he's such a good kid. He's such a collaborative kid. But was it hard on your psyche as a coach that Tatum's not getting minutes? Did you feel guilty? Did the staff feel guilty because he's such a good kid and a great player?
Totally. I think that weighed on all of us. It weighed on Steve very heavily because he really did we all had such an incredible appreciation for each and every one of our guys. And they're all great. Like as he said in the first meeting, there's probably 12 Hall of Famers in this room. And so, yeah, you wanted them all to have success. You wanted them all to get to play, but like there's think about it, there's 200 minutes, for a team in a game like that, and you start splitting it up. I mean, it's hard to split it up 10 ways, and to try to split it up 12. So a lot of that wasn't anything the guys weren't doing. It was more like just matchup based. And then, the gift, we kept talking about the gift and the blessing of having this plethora of talent. The only slightly negative was there was just so much talent that, at some point, somebody wasn't going to get to play or not play as much as they're used to. They all handled it wonderfully. I mean, they're such a class act. And I think one of the underrated things of this whole journey was we had incredible team chemistry. Incredible.
Yes.
For a group that was just thrown together. And I don't know much, but I do know a lot about team chemistry. I've been so blessed with that at Gonzaga and with our teams over the years. And we had that same, they genuinely really liked each other.
Finally, couple minutes left. Kevin Durant is such a unique personality. He's such a unique player. You can gobble up the shot clock in any game, give him it with 3 seconds left, and he gets a great shot. And he's just, I find him funny. He argues with fans online. He's just a unique cat. But there's so much love and respect. And he may have had more fun than any player out there. We got a couple of minutes. Tell me about Kevin Durant, what it's like to coach him and be around him, Mark.
Wonderful, wonderful guy, total team guy. And just, my best description of him is just, Colin, he's just an absolute baller. He just loves basketball, and I think he'll play it till he's 80 if he can. And he's another guy that if you stick around after practice, it's just amazing to watch him go and his individuals, how hard he goes. And that shot and that delivery of his is so sport specific and so on time. There's not a bit of wasted motion. It's efficient and that high release. And I got to tell you, one thing that always shocked me is, we'd be in locker rooms or whatever, and AD would go walking out the door and then, have to duck his head a little bit. KD would go out that same door and have to duck his head the same way. It's unbelievable how tall he is and how big he is, and yet just this gifted, incredible perimeter player that just has. There's been nobody like him. I don't think in all of basketball, and he's got to go down in the annals. This is his 4th gold medal, which shows you just how team oriented he is, because these guys made an incredible sacrifice of basically their whole summer after long seasons to go out and do this, and absolute joy being around him that time.
Well, I'm trying to learn French, and I stink. I'm only like 8 days in, so I'm terrible. So I'd sign off in French, and I'd butcher it. But get some sleep. Get on your mountain bike. 43 days is – you need a home-cooked meal.
Well, we were 43 days over the whole journey. That was started in Vegas, Abu Dhabi, London, and then Paris. But I'm guessing you're farther ahead of me than I am in my So, hey, merci beaucoup for having me on.
Au revoir or something like that. I don't know. Great seeing you, Mark, as always. Zags basketball coach Mark Few.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.